Your job as the lawyer asking open-ended questions is to get that testimony, which is evidence, out so the jury can hear your side of the story. So we're going to see Attorney Alley this afternoon ask her client, Mrs. Providence, some questions about what happened at that after-prom party that we've talked about.
See, with the close-ended questions, because it's the other side's witness, you don't really know what they're going to say. They might not have talked to you. You don't always have the opportunity. If a witness tells you they don't want to talk to you, like the defendant is not going to talk to you without her attorney or testifying, then you want to shape the testimony and say it the way you want her to answer yes or no. And that's why you ask those close-ended questions of the other side, okay?
So what we're going to do first is we're going to have Attorney Alley demonstrate how she would ask her client, the teacher, Miss Providence, questions at trial. And then after she's done, I'm going to play the lawyer for Tracy Walker, the other side of the case, and I'm going to ask the principal, the teacher, some questions, closed-ended questions, to try to get other information that I want the jury to hear. Okay? And hopefully after you watch us do it briefly, and we will be brief.
We will be brief.
After we do it, you guys will be able to do it. And we'll work on the form of how you ask open-ended and closed-ended questions, okay? But the open-ended questions are asked on direct examination. So that's what Attorney Alley's going to demonstrate.
Of your own witness. And the open-ended questions are the who, what, when, where, why questions. Now, they don't have to start with who, what, when, where, why. I'm going to start mine with those just so you can hear them and understand. But generally, it is asking your witness about who they are, what they were doing, where they were, why they did that, okay? As long as you keep those 5 W's in your mind when you ask your question and shape your question, they're going to be open-ended questions, all right? So good afternoon, Miss Providence. Would you please state your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Sarah Providence.
And Miss Providence, who are you?
Well, I'm Meredith Providence's mother, and Meredith goes to the high school, and I was a parent volunteer chaperone at the high school prom.
All right, that was my open-ended question. Now, Mr. O'Neill is going to ask Miss Providence a closed-ended question.
Isn't it true, Mrs. Providence, that in addition to being Meredith's mother, you were also working at the after-hours prom party as a teacher for the Maple School District?
Well, I am a teacher for the Maple School District.
And you were working as a teacher at the after-prom party, were you not?
Well, I volunteered.
And you volunteered as a teacher to work that night to make sure that the party was conducted in a safe manner. Isn't that why you were there, ma'am?
Yes.
Good answer.
You see how Attorney O'Neill got her to say what he wanted her to say? Because
so we're going to practice now with some of the other witnesses. So I'm going to divide the room up at this pole. So if you're on this side of the pole, you're going to ask closed-ended questions. And if you're on this side of the pole, you're going to ask open-ended questions. So the next witness that we're going to interview is Tracy Walker. So you guys over here are representing Tracy Walker. She's your witness. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to go through her testimony, and you can work with the people sitting next to you and come up with 2 open-ended questions as a group to ask Tracy. You guys represent Miss Providence, so you're trying to disprove what Tracy is saying. You want to go through Tracy's testimony and find holes in her story, right? Facts that are good for Miss Providence. And you're going to turn those into closed-ended questions. And you'll remember from watching Attorney O'Neill that a closed-ended question is basically saying the fact, right? Because you're saying what you want the jury to hear, and then you're sort of turning it into a question.
Underline anything with a plaintiff renders. So you have to underline anything that we can use to make an open-ended question.
Where were you when Elizabeth first made fun of your glasses? Or, you know, who made fun of your glasses at the dance? Okay? So you guys turn your other two questions into open-ended ones. You got it? Okay.
Tell the principal about any bullying that was done to you, yet you want to hold the teacher, Mrs. Providence, responsible for something you yourself didn't even, you know, or something like that. It's fun, I'm telling you. Cross-examination is really fun. So, you know, look at these facts and just grab a couple of facts that you think are, keeping in mind, put your hat on now. The hat you're wearing is you're representing Mrs. Providence. And try to get some facts that, your hat's on, there you go.
Okay, guys, I want to keep us on schedule and get to some of the other witnesses. So, I'm gonna ask you to get ready to ask the lovely Tracy Walker all of your questions, okay? So, as we're gonna learn in our next lesson about the sequence of a trial, when Tracy's on the witness stand, her lawyers get to ask her the questions first. So we'll start over here. Maybe we should start in the back with Carla and Luli.
Carla, stand up over here so everyone can see you and hear you. Because when we ask questions in court, you guys, you always stand up. Lawyers that don't stand up when they talk get yelled at by the judge. It's a sign of respect for the courts. You want to stand up when you ask your questions, okay? Come on, Carla. Okay, you are going to ask some open-ended questions of your client, Tracy Walker.
I only have 3 questions.
That's good.
Okay, where were you when Elizabeth bullied you about your glasses?
About my glasses? Well, Elizabeth bullied me many times about my glasses. One time, even before the prom and the after prom party, Elizabeth and her friends, because she had lots of friends since she was voted prom, made another comment about my glasses right before she pushed me down the stairs at the high school. So she made many comments about my glasses.
Okay.
That was a whopper of an open-ended question.
Yeah, do you see how that allows your witness to testify?
So why don't we get some cross-examiners to ask some closed-ended questions, Josh?
All right, Josh, hold on. Just so everyone can hear you. Okay, Josh, you're cross-examining Tracy Walker now.
So, you guys admit that the music on the prom party was really loud, making it really hard to hear anything, right?
Well, the music was loud enough to dance to, so, yes, the music was loud.
And is it true that you didn't tell your parents or Principal Taylor, meaning that they couldn't do nothing about the bullying?
I didn't tell my parents about the comments Elizabeth was making, but I tried to tell Ms. Providence after I was tripped at the party.
Well, but then you said that you were embarrassed to tell your parents or Principal Taylor about the problem.
When it first started, I was a little embarrassed, but I found later it helped after Elizabeth got in trouble for the bullying after she shoved me down the stairs.
When did you try to tell Principal Taylor?
When did I?
Yeah.
I guess I never did tell Principal Taylor.
All right, so now we're going to switch and we're going to do Tracy's boyfriend, Benjamin. So we're going to swap sides. So those of you over here on the left are now representing Sarah Providence, and you're going to ask closed-ended questions of Benjamin.
That's all right.
Here are now representing Tracy, and you're going to ask open-ended questions of Benjamin. Okay? So I'll give you another 5 minutes to come up with some new questions. And we'll let those of you who didn't go and ask one question. So Daisy, you want to go?
Come on, Daisy. I know. You're ready to cross-examine. Come on.
Mr. Shore,
Mr. Shore.
isn't it true that you knew about the bullying and didn't report it?
I knew about the bullying and I did not report it. That is correct.
Is it because you don't love Miss Walker?
I do care very deeply for Tracy.
Then why didn't you report the bullying if you really, truly love her?
Because I thought it was really, out of respect for Tracy, I wanted her to be the one to report it.
No further questions.
Oh my God.
That's great. That's right.